This week in our Torah portion, Parashat Chukat, we lose one of the Torah's greatest heroes, Miriam. When Miriam dies, the Israelites' their water supply, dries up, which leads the rabbis of the Midrash to conclude that the entire reason the Israelites had water their whole time wandering in the desert was due to the great merit, the great zehut of Miriam, and a mythical well, Miriam's well, that she took with her wherever she went. But I'd like to focus this week not on Miriam's contributions to our people, of which there are a great many, but on the people's response in the aftermath of her death. Immediately following the announcement of Miriam's death, the Torah reads, and I'm quoting, "The community was without water. The people quarreled with Moses, saying, 'If only we had perished when our brothers perished at the insistence of Adonai. Why, Moses, why, God, have you brought us into this wilderness for us and our beasts to die here? Why did you make us leave Egypt,' they say, 'to bring us into this wretched place, a place with no grain or figs or vines or pomegranates? There is not even water to drink.'" Time after time, the Israelites complain about their situation. The entire book of Numbers I guess it is very Jewish, but they're complaining the whole time. This is, by my count, the third time that they go so far as to say they wish they had never left slavery in Egypt. It's a little bit perplexing, a little puzzling, how after witnessing firsthand the 10 plagues, the parting of the Red Sea, after they received the Torah, and after they munched down every day on an all-you-can-eat manna buffet from heaven, how could the Israelites possibly still be ungrateful? It seems quite silly from our perspective, from our seat, these ever-complaining Israelites. But reading the story this week, I had to ask myself, don't I do this too? Don't we do this too? Every single day, every single summer that I'm in Memphis, I kvetch about the Memphis heat. If I don't complain out loud, I certainly bemoan it to myself right when I walk out the door walking my dog. Even though, unlike almost every generation of human beings who have preceded me, I have air conditioning. I don't have to work in the hot sun with my hands doing back-breaking labor. I have ice and ice cream anytime I want it. We have, as human beings living today, on average, more material wealth. We live longer and better, with more rights and less war, although it seems, of course, right now for the Jewish people that is not the case. But on average, less war around the globe than any human beings who have ever lived. Though so much of our lives are truly miraculous, like the ancient Israelites, too often we fail to truly account for how much good we do have in our lives. The Hebrew language has some insight into this fact of human nature. The Hebrew word for gratitude, hakarat hatov, isn't related to giving thanks, as it is in English, which is derived from the Latin gratia, like gracias or gratiae. The Hebrew hakarat hatov literally means recognizing or knowing the good. And the Jewish notion of gratitude means recognizing the good that we already have in our lives. In Musar master Alan Marinas' book, Everyday Holiness, which is a guide for growing our soul traits, our midot, like gratitude, Alan Marinas brings a teaching from the medieval Rabbi Bachya ibn Pekuda. And Rabbi Bachya gives 3 reasons why we so rarely recognize the tov, the goodness in our lives. As I read them, I'd like to ask you to see if you think that you sometimes fall into this as well. Rabbi Bachya says, "We tend not to feel appreciative because we are too absorbed in worldly things and in the enjoyment of them. Physical pleasures can never be fully gratified, and so we pursue them endlessly, which keeps us from gratitude for what we have. Number 2, we are so focused on the travails and afflictions we suffer in this world that we forget both our very being and all that we own are among the good things that have been gifted to us. And finally, number 3, he says that we are so used to our gifts that we don't actually even really see them anymore. We have grown so accustomed to them that they appear to us as typical, as permanent, unremarkable features of our lives. Because we just take them for granted, Rabbi Bachya says, we don't see all the good that is in our lives, for which we really could and should be grateful. And even though he lived over 1,000 years ago, he is so right. How incredible it is that we have legs that work, that we have hearts that beat once every second without our thinking about it, that another species of animal, the canine, evolved over hundreds of thousands of years to be so in tune with our souls and so devoted to us. But like the ancient Israelites, who only complained when the miracles in their life were taken away, when they lost their water, sometimes it takes losing our ability to walk or having a health scare to make us realize how grateful we should have been all along. And too often this applies to people in our lives too. Only when Miriam died did the Israelites finally realize how much she meant to them. Who is the Miriam to you? How, Jewish tradition asks, can we grow in gratitude? How do we grow our awareness so that we see the blessings before they're gone? In the Talmud, Rabbi Meir teaches that we should say 100 blessings every single day. Now, I did the math, and that is 6 blessings every waking hour, or 1 every 10 minutes. That's a lot. We have blessings we say each morning in the prayer book, like Moda Ani, thanking God for another day, blessings for the ability to see, to walk, a blessing thanking God that everything went smoothly after we went to the bathroom. That's one of my personal favorites. We have blessings for nature, for smelling a flower, for seeing a rainbow or a thunderstorm. We even have a blessing for seeing a friend that we haven't seen in a long time. If we say a blessing, giving thanks for something in our lives every 10 minutes, or even a few times a day, think about how much more you would notice the things that you have to be grateful for. But beyond daily blessings, I do have to say, the greatest gift that we have as Jews each week is the gift of Shabbat. An entire day to pause, to reflect, to become mindful of the things and the people we have that make our life worth living. Each Shabbat we have the opportunity to spend time with the people that we love, to spend time together in community. Maybe some of us like to spend it in nature, or perhaps best of all, being a blessing for someone else. Wherever this Shabbat, wherever the next 25 hours take you, I wish you renewed awareness of the blessings that are already in your life. I wish you someone or something new that you can be thankful for. And I wish you, most of all, plenty of water, ice, and air conditioning. Shabbat Shalom.